Have you ever looked into your security camera and found something creepy? If you are a fan of camera footage creepy stories, then these upcoming horror stories are sure to give you some chills. The home security camera in one of the houses in the Villages of Cobblestone neighborhood in Perry Township, Indianapolis, captured a very frightening video of what appeared to have been a case of a kidnapping gone wrong. The footage shows a red Honda Civic in the early hours of the morning, around 5 a.m., suddenly stopping while someone jumps out of the trunk and dashes to a nearby driveway. The driver immediately gets out of the car and pursues hard after the victim. He fires 3 shots at the frantic man, who manages to escape, running between cars in a driveway and then between 2 houses. Having lost his victim, the driver quickly runs back to the still moving car and takes off with his accomplice. It was reported that the person who was shot at was not hit, but when the police got involved, he refused to cooperate with the investigation. And quite ironically, although the home where the footage was taken from was left untouched, the same cannot be said about a neighboring house. When investigations began, a bullet hole was found on the wooden siding of the garage at the nearby house, in the same direction where the shots were fired at. The homeowner said he was asleep and did not hear any of the gunshots. That might have been true, as he also didn't notice his house being burglarized and some valuable items being carted away that same night. Multiple cases of house burglaries were said to have occurred in the area that same night, but it's difficult to tell if they're connected to the scene caught by the home security camera. In this Ring doorbell footage, a tattooed and gray-bearded man carrying a bag and clipboard approaches a house, rings the doorbell, and repeatedly knocks on the door while repeating, "I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple of questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive?"
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive?
Although he seems to be talking to himself as he knocks on the door, it is apparent that he knows that there's a lady in the house. Luckily, the woman who identifies as Amanda Nowak does not answer the door, probably being too terrified to move, and that would be to her advantage. This goes on for a couple of minutes, and just as he starts to leave, Nowak's husband, who was alerted of the incident while at work, responds over the Ring doorbell, asking the visitor what he wanted.
So who are you?
What? Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about TV show. Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rape her and kill her. Can you have her open the door?
The intruder blatantly announces that he wants to inappropriately handle the lady in the house and end her thereafter. He states that he has a knife and a gun, then proceeds to ask Nowak's husband if he could help open the door while quickly reminding him of his intentions again.
I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on her door again.
This was no doubt a very traumatizing experience for the couple. In a post she made on Facebook containing the footage, Nowak wrote, "So this happened tonight. Pretty scary. I was home alone. You'll hear my husband jump on the ring after a bit. He wasn't there. I was hiding where this guy couldn't see me, and I never said a word. That whole beginning, he's just talking to himself." It's difficult to say what exactly his mental state was at the time of this footage, but he kept talking to himself even on his way out of the property. You can hear him repeatedly asking, "Are you sure?" as he goes on the walkway.
Are you sure? Yeah. What?
Thankfully, the incident was reported to the Las Vegas Police Department that night, and the suspect was arrested the following morning when a resident identified the man from Amanda's post, which had gone viral. He was booked on charges of aggravated stalking, coercion, and obstructing a police officer. Now, this is just one of several such dangerous people walking the streets and trying doors. There's no telling if he would have carried out his threat had he found that door open. This disturbing footage shows a man masquerading as a clown and trying to make his way into the house of an unsuspecting homeowner at 2 a.m. Quite unsettling is the fact that he has a huge knife, which he does not bother to conceal. When he finds the front door is locked, he does not hesitate to try other entrances of the house. He goes around to the side of the house where he finds an iron rod gate that was not properly locked by the homeowner, and with little effort makes his way through it. Luckily, the door he finds that leads into the house was securely locked. He walks around to the other side of the house and, finding another door, tries to get it open. When he fails at that, he looks through the window beside it. He gets frustrated as he is seen for the first time switching his weapon to his other hand. The clown gives it one more shot by checking out the back of the house and disappearing when he doesn't find success. Stories associated with clowns have always been creepy in a way. This incident occurred at a time when there was an alarmingly heightened activity of creepy clown characters, ranging from pranks to shows. But there were many cases of sinister incidents where people dressed as clowns attempted all sorts of criminal acts. The footage from this surveillance camera would hardly pass for a prank. Whoever this clown was, aside from protecting his identity, picked his outfit to match his intentions, which cannot be said to have been good. The homeowner, a Texas resident, while commenting on the footage wrote, "This morning, I noticed my gate was open. I checked my surveillance cameras and found someone in a clown costume was trying to get into my house. I'm sure we would all be dead today if he was able to get in." This homeowner had set up cameras around her rural property to capture footage of the wildlife while she was out with her family. She got a notification about movement near her back door and checked the footage only to see this bone-chilling scenario. There are audible scratches and knocks on the door as if someone was desperately trying to enter her home. Then a terrifying whispering request, "Let me in."
Let me in.
The scratching and pounding intensify with the voice demanding "in." A few days later, the homeowner's doorbell camera captured a cloaked person slowly walking into her front yard, staring at the camera for a moment and then disappearing off into the night. A few moments later, the same figure is seen reappearing doing the same motions as before, slowly walking into the lit front yard and then vanishing off into the darkness. In a video that went viral, the homeowner, identified as Mandy, shared her experience. She said, "I was consoling my baby as they lurked in my backyard. I went to immediately look with my husband and there was nothing that we could see." Mandy believed the figure was a woman and explained that the figure made her way into the backyard and stood just a meter from the back steps, near where she was tending to her sick baby inside. While a lot of reactions to her video showed concern and advised her to leave, the homeowner is not ready to give up without a fight. She explained that she had added extra security cameras with floodlights and that she and her husband were armed in order to protect their family from any future trespassers. This footage captures a failed attempt by two men to burgle a house when they are met with a shock. The two men turn up at the door of this house and instead of knocking, proceed to open the door using a card.
Nomás tienen la de abajo, si por tablo ves la tarjeta.
Luckily, the family who had traveled on vacation for 2 weeks had just returned home from their flight when the next day these intruders attempted a break-in to their home. Whether or not he was genuine, we will never know, but the front man kept asking his partner if they were at the right house and if they weren't supposed to knock before getting in. His partner, however, urges him to use a credit card to open the door. Thankfully, the homeowners are around and the husband screams at the men. For a moment, they are shocked to know that someone was in the house and they lose their composure when asked who they were and what they were doing.
Hey, what the fuck, bro?
Hey. No, we're looking for a consumer.
Hey, ¿no está Eduardo? Hey, no, este es el hijo.
Oh.
Sí, el hijo.
It's easy to suspect that they had stalked or observed the house for the period of the homeowner's absence and did not expect them to be home on that day. Off guard, the second man comes up with all possible explanations of who they were. He claimed to be looking for Eduardo, a friend for whom he had brought insurance for.
Hey, amigo.
¿Qué pasó?
Aquí vive Eduardo.
No, aquí no vive nadie, pero ¿por qué estás
No, no, Eduardo. No, el cuñado del Bruno, ¿no lo conoce?
No conozco a nadie.
No.
Entonces no era que le tocara la puerta.
Sí, ajá, pero yo, disculpe.
No toque la puerta.
Oh.
No tocar la puerta, que traten de
Sí,
abrir.
no, sí, yo
But then the wife threatened to call the cops. They have no other option but to beg and leave, while the first man insisted that they're at the wrong address.
No, sí, yo toqué.
No, sorry, we okay.
Sí.
¿Quién es lo que hace eso? ¿Siempre lo hace así?
No,
No, si nosotros primera vez a tener una aseguranza venimos con un amigo, pero entonces me equivoqué yo, como casi lo mismo, en la casa de Eduardo, pero la tengo que hallar aquí cerquita es.
porque no pide bien la dirección. Ayer los problemas.
But their body language shows otherwise. Police later arrived on the scene, but the men had left already. A police report was filed, but nothing has been heard of since.